When Duchess of Hamilton went to America, she was disguised as the first locomotive in the class, Coronation. She also took a complete train of carriages. Each of the carriages was decked out with examples of the things you could see at the New York World's Fair. However, although the Americans were totally awed and amazed at the marvellous shape of the streamlined locomotive and its accompanying carriages, they were not very impressed by the internal facilities the LMS provided its passengers. One of the embarrassing questions the LMS had to field from American journalists was, why do you have opening carriage windows? The reason for this question was simple. Most of America's top trains in the 1930s had air conditioning. The LMS still used open carriage windows to get fresh air into its trains. The LMS, being somewhat embarrassed by this, replied that an Englishman demands the right to open his carriage window, and if they didn't give them that right, they would have a riot on their hands. In 1939, the Second World War broke out, and by 1941, that star of the New York World's Fair was painted black and working on Britain's railways, keeping the war effort going. Following a series of tests, railway engineers were able to prove conclusively the streamlined casing cost more in fuel than it saved in the ability of the locomotive to cut through the air more efficiently. Put simply, it was a waste of time, and the engineers made the logical step of having it removed. Duchess of Hamilton is one of the most powerful steam locomotives ever to run in Britain. It could pull trains from London to Glasgow in 6¼ to 6½ hours with ease. But the amazing thing about this powerful steam locomotive that can put so much horsepower onto the track is that in the end it relies on one man and a shovel to put fuel from the tender into the firebox. It's an amazing thing to think that so much effort goes into designing this fantastic machine, and yet in the end the whole thing relies on a man with a shovel.